I would like each and every single one of you to take a moment and think about an alternate reality where you are an editor for One Piece or somebody working at the head offices of Shonen Jump. What do you even say in response to the last 6 chapters? What do you even say? Do you pick, because as an editor, you're supposed to let them know what you're supposed to do better, what should be done here, the type of direction, make sure that the author's vision is still in line. What do you even say here, bro? Mr. Oda, that's another banger. What? That's all you can say. That is all you can say, bro. It's I mean, fire. Goat. What do you say, bro? This is peak. This is peak. There's nothing that can be done here that can be improved on. This is peak. It's their job must be easy, man. They're swimming in the easiest money possible. The individuals in charge of One Piece right now, they're like, we chilling. Let Mr. Oda do his thing. Let Mr. Oda do his thing, and we're making free money. Free money. Oh, that's a banger. Promote it. Banger. It's come on, man. This is the easiest job in the world for the individuals that are overseeing the series right now. They don't got to say a word. They don't have to say a single word. They're like, my dog got it. If I was an individual working at the head offices and I received the last panel from this week's chapter, I'm like, put that thing as a statue in front of our office. Put that thing on a plaque so that when individuals walk down this hallway, they see the peakness that is happening right now in Luffy versus Kaido. Are you kidding me? Dog, with that panel of the goat with the coat holding on to the spear, the lightning spear. Listen, man. If this man Luffy was, and we're about to get a JRPG, right? We're about to get a One Piece JRPG. If this man Luffy had a moveset that changes after he goes into Gear 5th, where the entire thing changes, could you imagine? I don't care what game it is, whether it's a Pirate Warriors, a fighting game, whatever. This is a part of his moveset to where he grabs a spear of lightning and just starts going head. That's too filthy. That's too filthy. Let me tell y'all something. One of the most interesting things about this is the fact that when you look at Nika's silhouette and you see him holding a spear in one hand and a sword in the other, we know Wano's the land of blades. We know Wano's the land of swords, even though Luffy earlier on this arc was using one and he was punching individuals with his blade. That's how you know he's a real goat. That's how you know he's a real goat, man. He has a sword in his hand and he's like, I'm too real for that sword. Still receiving my knuckles. You feel me? So it's like, imagine a scenario where we have the Nika pose, except it's Luffy holding a lightning spear straight from the heavens themselves, just grabbing the piece of lightning as it's... Do you know what type of future sight you need to capture lightning? Do you know what kind of hyper speed movement you need to capture lightning? And he goes and he grabs it, brings out a blade. I don't know what blade it is, but he just pulls it out. Kaido pulls out his mace, and it's them boxing, except it's Luffy with a blade in his hand, a lightning spear in the other with a Nika pose. I don't know, man. When we saw Nika, we saw him holding those two weapons. So who knows? It's Wano. Don't count a sword out of this junk yet, man. That would be hype, though. I'm not sure where he would get the sword from, but a man can dream. And the Nika pose is there. But that final panel's been rent-free. Without a doubt, one of the rawest panels I have ever seen. And the fact that it's coming right after one of the rawest panels I had ever seen the week before, with Luffy going Gear 2nd in Gear 5th, using the Gear 2nd pose to enter Gear 5th. And then he states that one legendary line, and it's like, come on, man. This is just way too goated. So the thing is right now, right, we're obviously living through a legendary stretch. This is something that's absolutely incredible. Luffy versus Kaido's going down, and this is the best possible way to leave us on this break so that when we come back, we're either prepared to head right into Kaido's flashback or to finish Luffy versus Kaido within the next stretch of chapters that we get before he goes on break again. Because I am going to assume, unless Kaido awakens, which even if he does awaken, I can see this fight ending in the next 3 to 4 chapters. You know, because we don't know if he's already awakened or if he has, or we don't know if he has awakened, like if he's already an awakening, like if he's just mastered awakening to the point where he's always in it, or if he's going to awaken. Because as we saw from what Law and Kid said, when you enter your awakening, it takes a massive toll on your body. And so I wonder if that was any type of lead-in into Kaido utilizing his after what he said this week, right? So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go about, or if he's going to utilize awakening, whatever it is. But when that does end up being the case, regardless of whether he enters it or doesn't, this fight is ending by the time we enter the next break, unless we get Kaido's flashback in the middle of this fight. If we get Kaido's flashback in the middle of this fight, of course, it's not going to end. But if we go straight up boxing and then flashback season, there's no doubt in my mind that this fight might end on 1050 or right around that area, because it is time. You know, this right now feels like the entering the final phase of the battle portion of it, especially with the way this week's chapter ended. It feels like Oda's about to go all the way in with Kaido versus Luffy awesomeness. And so when it reaches the peak of its intensity, and we get whatever it is that Luffy's about to create to, you know, with Mr. Innovator of Greatness over there, whatever comes out of his arsenal that ends up taking out Kaido, and whether the lanterns really do light up and everybody gets to see the silhouette of Monkey D. Goatman, you know what I'm saying, up in the air, similar to Skypiea, as he's delivering the blow to Kaido, or whether they're already seeing the Battle of Legend taking place. Regardless, what this week's chapter showed us is that Onigashima about to fall because Kaido's at his limit and he can no longer focus the stamina that he was using, the strength he was using to keep Onigashima up. He can no longer do that anymore. All his focus is on the goat with the coat. So it's going to be straight hands of just the two of them boxing. They're not worried about anybody else. It's you on me and me on you. Boxing. Momonosuke and Yamato are going to take care of Onigashima to make sure it does not crash into Flower Capital. Alright, this is going to be Momonosuke's Hour of Legend incoming. And I think that's why this week's chapter needed to have the moment that we've been talking about and discussing on the channel for so long, which is Luffy's "I'm going to be the king of the pirates" line. He said it so many times, but this time it was so important. This time it was so integral, not just to the story itself, but to the audience. Obviously, Oda knows that he's playing with fire here. All pun intended. Right? When it comes to introducing the model Nika fruit, when it comes to the whole Joy Boy thing, the entire fan base was wondering where in the world he was going to take this. And there was that element of what's going to happen now with Luffy's character. And I love how immediately, with the 1044, 1045, 1046 stretch, we have gotten the answer. And it culminates in 1046 with Luffy's line. He is who he is. No matter if he's been bestowed this destiny of being Joy Boy. Zunisha confirmed this week that Luffy's heartbeat reminds him of the Joy Boy that he knew. And so it's so interesting that we got that confirmation at the same time that when Kaido asks him the question of who he is, he then responds with, "Dog, I've been the same dude from day one," especially in this arc where every single time that he's come on here and reintroduced himself, he's done so with full title and all. And I'm so glad that he did it again while in Gear 5th after all of this craziness, because it goes to show the man has not changed. If Gear 5th being as wacky and goofy and epic as it is wasn't enough to showcase this is still our goat with the coat, then here's the line drop taking us into the break that we should have no worries in our minds, because this is Monkey D and he'll always be Monkey D. The Gomu Gomu no regardless, because the thing is, remember, he still doesn't know about the Model Nika thing. He still doesn't know about the Joy Boy thing. But the thing that all of us know, all of us who know Luffy know, that he does not care about any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so to get that line this week, for me, was what I've been waiting for in regards to this is him proclaiming his name in front of the entire audience. And when I mean the entire audience, I'm talking about both the individuals in the verse and out of the verse. The people who need to hear this. And the individuals who need to hear this within Onigashima are Kaido, Yamato, and Momonosuke. Because those are the three individuals that are currently battling with their identities and specifically with proclaiming their name and who they truly are as individuals, which of course has been a major theme within this arc, as we got to see with Kozuki Hiyori having her moment in 1044. Now we're about to get those moments from Yamato, Momonosuke, and Kaido in the coming chapters. And that's why I think this needed to happen now, before we got whatever it is that we're gonna get with Kaido, Yamato, and Momonosuke. Because I guarantee you, when Yamato comes into her own, gets rid of the Odin, I'm trying to become Odin, and she becomes her true self, the flashbacks to that scene are gonna hit. When Luffy said, even when he is Joy Boy, even when he's the individual spoken of in legend, so like, yo, I am who I am. I'm Monkey D. I'm not trying to become this individual everybody else wants to be. I'm me. Momonosuke, all things for his pops. His pops was a legendary man, but he is his own dude. And right now, Onigashima, the flower capital, the people of Wano need him to do what only Momonosuke can do. And so I feel like that's why this week's chapter needed that. And when it comes to Kaido, when we get to his flashback, we're going to look back on that line of Luffy stating his true name and his title once again, even after all of this. And we're going to look back on it and be like, man, that was a key moment in this battle. Not necessarily in terms of him overwhelming Kaido with his strength, but to truly showcase that from the very beginning, Luffy was always himself. And I look forward to seeing how that's going to mess with Kaido's psyche in regards to what changes in him after his flashback. Does he remember something from the past? Is Luffy stating that going to remind him of someone that he looked up to, like a Rox, or something that he wanted to become, like a Joy Boy? What is going to connect? What's going to spark in Kaido's mind after hearing that line? And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing now, whenever we come back from break, is seeing how that line is going to directly connect to Yamato, Momonosuke, and Kaido's character arcs culminating here in the climax of Onigashima. Because if those were the three that needed to hear it, those are the three that needed to hear it. And so now, it's time to see their answers to that line. And of course, I can't wait to see what else happens with Luffy and Kaido, because this is undoubtedly when I was about to say when Oda sticks the landing for this legendary fight, it is going to be without question top one fight in One Piece. Not even close. Not even close, at least for me. At least for me. This has been the most fun I have ever had reading a battle in this story. From chapter 1000 until now. All I've ever wanted to see is Roof Beast and these two throwing down. And it has not disappointed in the slightest. As a matter of fact, it's gone beyond every expectation that I had going into this arc. Go Peace, man. I will see y'all next time. Have an awesome day. Let me know what y'all thought about this week's chapter in the comment section down below. Shout out to the 7th Hokage, Raizo. That's that dude. And of course, Jinbei, because without Jinbei, none of that would have happened. So shout out to my dog Jinbei for actually going in and taking those tons, gallons of water and putting them where it needed to go. It's my dog Jinbei, man. But of course, MVP of the week, without a doubt. Go with the coat. Going up in like swimwear against Kaido. That final panel is going to go down in legend, because they're both at their limits, surpassing their limits as we head into the final climax of here, man. With Onigashima falling. Focus on both of them. They're no longer putting any eyes on anything else. it's on you and me. Oh, so hyped for the end of this fight, man. It's gonna go down in legend. Cannot wait for it. Y'all have a good one.